Hello and welcome back to No Bullshit. Today we return to talking about Roseanne, the actress and star of the hit TV sitcom of the same name. Roseanne returned earlier this year to wide acclaim. The new revival season of her show had record-breaking ratings and a warm reception from longtime fans, including myself. We covered the episodes here a bit too, in its own series even, playlist linked below, and I plan on covering the already ordered second season of this revival too. That was until Rosie's Twitter controversy happened. She got flack for tweeting something supposedly racist about a former Obama aide who no one's ever heard of. ABC, her network, promptly fired Roseanne, which resulted in canceling her whole show, despite its huge success. Next, ABC quickly reconfigured the show without Roseanne, retitling it The Connors, the family name of the show's main characters. This all happened many months ago now, but recently, The Connors show finally premiered last week, and that's why this whole story is popping up again. First, leading up to the premiere last week, ABC leaked a small story about how they regretted firing Roseanne in the first place. More information on that can be found in this article from the Daily Mail called ABC Execs Fear Spinoff Show The Connors Will Crash Without Its Fired Star when it debuts next week, and tell Daily Mail TV killing off their character was a hasty, knee-jerk decision. Check this out. Top ABC brass may have acted too swiftly by pulling the plug on Roseanne, and they now feel the show's replacement spinoff will flop without its star. Two senior executives at the network have told Daily Mail TV that firing the actress was a knee-jerk reaction by ABC's president, and admitted that temporarily suspending Barr may have been a wiser decision. We didn't think it through properly. What Roseanne did was wrong, but we shouldn't have rushed to fire her. It was almost a knee-jerk reaction, said Ben Sherwood and Channing Dungey, who should have launched an investigation, one insider said. This would have given them more time to listen to the public, advertisers, and cast members to determine the best decision. The highly anticipated reboot of the popular 90s sitcom was axed in May, just 3 months into its return after Barr, 65, made a racist tweet about former Obama aide Valerie Jarrett. Well, yeah, the firing was clearly a knee-jerk reaction. There's no denying that. But what these fools at ABC won't admit is it was also a political decision, a political reaction. Roseanne, of course, was an avid Trump supporter, and she was fired for making fun of a former member of the Obama administration. ABC obviously sided with the Democrats here and caved under pressure from them to fire Roseanne. And the other thing worth mentioning here is these guys saying they regret it, they can still fix this. I don't see why the executives at ABC are acting like there's nothing they can do here, when clearly they could bring back Roseanne if they wanted. They could even write her into this new spin-off series or something, give her own show even. There are many ways ABC could fix this, but all they're really doing is saying they regret it, which is basically just wringing their hands. Next, let's get to the show and see how it did. The Connors premiered last Tuesday, and they actually had pretty good ratings. Not nearly as big as last season with Roseanne, but they were respectable ratings nonetheless. For more details on the numbers, let's look at this article called ABC sitcom The Connors Sees Ratings Dive Without Roseanne Barr. ABC's new spin-off sitcom The Connors delivered worse ratings than its predecessor, Roseanne, did last year. What happened? The Connors, which is considered to be Roseanne without Roseanne, earned 10.5 million viewers with a 2.3 rating among adults, ages 18 to 49, according to TV by the Numbers, which monitors viewership for TV shows. That's a 55% drop-off from the Roseanne debut last fall, which saw 18.2 million viewers and 5.1 rating for the same demographic. Now, although this article is confused about the dates, Roseanne's last season was in March 2018, this year, not last year. Regardless though, they are right about the ratings. While most articles are trying to give the Connors a win here, they still had about half the ratings the real Roseanne had. So I don't know what the hell ABC and the Connors were thinking. No one cares about the Connors family without Roseanne. The show is about the sassy and funny main character. That's why she's in the title. This is the equivalent to making a show like Seinfeld without Seinfeld, or Batman movie without Batman. And it's actually kind of like those Garfield minus Garfield comics too, now that I think about it. And funny enough, when you actually watch the episode without Roseanne, it actually feels like a surreal meta commentary when you think about it, kind of like the Garfield one. And that brings us to the actual content of the show. It took me a few days, and I was originally not going to partake since I'm admittedly bitter about Roseanne's firing, but then I got some comments from you guys and I realized I need to cover this new show too, at least the first episode, to see how bad it is. We did go through the whole season earlier this year, so let's go ahead and check this one out real quick. Quick recap though, so things make sense. Last season, Roseanne had a story arc where she was abusing painkillers. She was taking too many pills, and it was a clever commentary that reflected a lot of the problems in the current opioid crisis in the real world. And although Rosie seemingly fixed herself in the show and was on her way to recovery at the end of the season too, well, in light of the Twitter controversy and her real-life firing, ABC decided to just kill off Roseanne. That's right, now she apparently died from overdosing on those pills. It's a pretty serious, tragic end to the character and a bit disrespectful and tasteless if you ask me, all things considered, especially considering this show is supposed to be a comedy, you know, with jokes and goofs and gaffes. Sure, there are real stories there too and serious real-life situations, but in my opinion, having the main character die from a drug overdose is a little much. Next comes the bad jokes and awkward, cringy humor and acting from the supporting cast. Here's an example so you can see with your own eyeballs how bad this new show is.
Then we keep telling people we're grieving until we figure out how to feed ourselves.
I just feel bad it's taking us so long to give them their dishes back.
That's right. Other people are dying, and their relatives are getting casseroles in plastic Tupperware, so...
I love Jackie's character too. She's great. And Dan the husband is one of my favorites on TV ever. And a few others in this cast still delivered their usual great performances too, but I think this whole project was screwed from the beginning. It's a bad idea being presented in a bad way. And it's also pretty ironic since it doesn't have to be this way. Even after this premiere episode, ABC could still today cancel the spin-off and bring back the real Roseanne, what everyone wants. So when I see these characters in the Connors pretending they have to live on their fake little sitcom lives without our favorite main character, I just cringe and think of the irony. Kind of the same feeling I got when the ABC executives pretended there was nothing they could do either.
We could not have held this all together without you.
Well, that's why I'm here. I know Roseanne would want me to step in and watch over the family.
No, it'd kill her.
In the end, the Connors spinoff may have had some decent ratings, but I really doubt they will last. This is not the kind of episode that will pull more people in, or even keep the remaining viewers around. The Connors premiere was a sad, poorly executed, distasteful shadow of its former show. I'm pretty sure the only reason the ratings were even this high anyway was because people just wanted to see what happens to Roseanne, since she was fired. And instead of leaving that door open for a possible return for Roseanne, ABC ruined it completely by killing off her character, thus burning that bridge completely, at least within this story, if you want to keep it coherent and reasonable. So now that ABC and the Connors have fully committed to Roseanne minus Roseanne, well, I'm all but sure the ratings will continue to tank, and this show will hopefully never get another season. And don't underestimate that Garfield minus Garfield comparison either, because much how like that joke comic series derives its story and humor from the absence of its main character, so too does the Connors show here on ABC. It's not like they made the story about what the family does while Roseanne is on a vacation in Europe or something. They could have written it so they just mention Roseanne's out of town real quick for work or whatever, and then they turn and focus on Dan or the other family members. Dan could have had his own little story about becoming a high school football coach or something, because after all, he mentions how he used to play football in the story before on older seasons. And then boom, there you go. I just made a spin-off 10 times better than this The Connors bullshit. Call it Coach Dan or The Dan Show. I don't care. Mainly what I'm getting at here is I want more Dan. He's the best, and he should get a spin-off because John Goodman is excellent and hilarious, and he could easily carry his own show in this situation. Instead though, the geniuses at ABC decided to kill Roseanne off and make this whole Connors spin-off show about how the remaining cast deals with Roseanne's death. At least that's how this first episode went. We will have to wait and see where this season goes from here, I suppose. They could pivot in episode 2 and start to ignore Roseanne's absence as they should. I mean, let's remember, ABC and the show are in the wrong here. It's not like Roseanne really screwed up or she actually died in the real world, and thus the show and network were forced to go on. That's what ABC is pretending is true, but it's really not. Really, ABC made a knee-jerk, politically motivated decision. They decided to be anti-Trump and anti-conservative and fire one of our supporters. Stupid jerks. And that's why I do openly root for their misfortune here. I want ABC and the Connors to fail. I'll admit it. Because they should, because they've shown their bias and they've done Roseanne dirty. Who, by the way, Roseanne was a longtime employee and huge moneymaker for ABC, yet they still cut her off without thinking twice. All because they wanted to defend some stupid Obama aide from years ago, who no one's ever heard of. I sure know if it were me, I would be defending my longtime employee and moneymaker, not to mention a household name and comedian and beloved actor, especially over some partisan hack who no one's ever heard of. Valerie who? I didn't get that memo. And if you ask me, employers shouldn't care about their employees' politics anyway. In fact, if this bias was provable, Roseanne could have a wrongful termination case on her hands. I already think the public agrees with us here. More and more each day, people are realizing that the firing of Roseanne was wrong, especially in light of the disaster her show and ABC have become without her. And this is the second successful show ABC has ruined in recent history because of politics. Tim Allen's Last Man Standing show was canceled by them too, despite having outstanding ratings and a loyal audience. Allen's show was canceled because, like Roseanne, he's conservative, and he chose to make his main character conservative too, so ABC eventually let him go as well. Fortunately for that series, Last Man Standing was picked up by Fox and has returned to its true form, but we can't say the same kind of happy fate will be in store for Roseanne. The new spin-off The Connors is destined to fail. It's only a matter of time. Sure, they had some decent ratings at first, but the story and the first episode's content, they already failed artistically and creatively. creatively. And in my opinion, the Connors episode 1 was off-putting, done in poor taste, and a total disaster to watch, so be gone with it. I want the real Roseanne, not this fake wannabe bullshit. What do you guys think? Should ABC stick to their guns and keep Roseanne fired and her character dead? Will the Connors be able to keep people around and watching this week? Or is it going to fall flat on its face in week 2? Comment your thoughts on everything below. And please remember to check out my backup account on minds.com. We got some other posts and we're going to be making some videos there real soon, so make sure you check it out, link below. And thanks again for watching No Bullshit. We'll see y'all next time.